Hey friends, Laura here with Lalo Wellness, and welcome to your yoga practice for today. Today's practice is really dedicated to moms, and it doesn't really matter if you are a mom who's in those really physical trenches with a baby or a toddler trying to keep them clean and fed and safe, or those emotional trenches with teens trying to keep your sanity as well as theirs, or even a veteran mom who's got grown kids. You know you never stop worrying about them. It's time for you to take some time for you and nurture yourself. Just taking a few minutes is so critical so that you can fill yourself up and continue to give. Let's get started. We want to spend just a few moments kind of getting present with our body, trying to shut out all of those other things that might be running through your brain, running through your body right now, and really allow yourself to take this time for you. So find any seated position that you enjoy, that you feel comfortable in, and just give yourself a nice big breath. When you exhale, just allow your shoulders to really drop into that breath. Give yourself a few more breaths. Maybe you gently close your eyes if that feels good. And notice your own body, how it's feeling. Anywhere that might be a little tight. Just observing how that breath is feeling. Is it deep? Is it shallow? Do you need to go a little deeper? Noticing your mind. If you've got a little monkey mind going on, that's okay. All we're doing is taking a moment to pay attention to ourselves. And on your next exhale, open your mouth and just let yourself sigh that breath away. That little sigh is just a signal that you're going to do something different. I use it all day long when I need to shift gears. We're going to take our left heel and bring it in a little bit closer to the center here. And take our right leg and turn it out to the side. So you may notice that this hip is lifted up kind of high. That's okay. Our hips might be a little bit tight. That's pretty normal. See if you can let it drop just a little bit more. Come to the center as much as you can. Our hips and our shoulders are often two places where we hold a lot of tension. So if those shoulders are creeping up, we want to let them come down. If those hips are feeling tight, we want to work on opening them up. Let's take our right hand and just shift it over here to the left knee. And we want to take our left hand behind us to support the back. Maybe taking a little look over the left shoulder. You might find that allows you to let that hip drop in just a little bit more. Taking that deep breath in, letting the spine lengthen out. And then as we exhale, maybe we take that twist just a little bit deeper. Giving yourself some time is so important. We can't wait till we find time. We have to take that time and prioritize ourselves and our health. Let's return to the center and take this leg that's in the back and just extend it straight out. Face that leg, take your chest and shoulders toward that leg. Deep breath, reaching nice and high. And then exhale, bringing yourself over that leg. Maybe you can bend a little bit deeper. You might even want to use a yoga strap or a towel to help give you a little bit more bend. We want to make sure we maintain a nice long spine here. If you are using a towel or a strap, wrapping it around the ball of your foot rather than the arch. Really working to keep those shoulders squared up with the leg. Every exhale, letting ourselves sink just a little bit more into that stretch. And then we just release it. And bring both feet to the center here. Wrap your arms around the front of your shins and just allow your forehead to drop to the knees, rounding through your spine, little siesta pose. Feeling that stretch at the back of your neck. Let's start to roll up out of our siesta. We're going to take the right heel, bring it in toward the center, and shift the other leg toward the back. Again, find your seat. You might have to adjust around just a little bit. That's okay. And let that left hip drop into it as much as you can. Let's take the left hand across the body, looking over the right shoulder. Lengthen out. You may find that this side feels a little different than the other side. That's pretty normal. We often have a little bit different abilities on each side of the body. Give yourself a little grace and compassion. Sit up nice and tall. Exhale a little deeper into your stretch. Let's inhale, face the center. I'm going to take that back leg, extend it out in front of us. Maybe with a yoga strap or a towel. Maybe you're just reaching for that foot. Your decision here. Sit up tall and then begin to pull yourself toward the foot. Letting your right knee still relax into that hip opener. You'll notice that we'll be moving between these opening positions and the nurturing positions. That way we get the best of both worlds. A little bit of release and a little bit of love. One more breath here. And release. Let's bring both feet to the center once again. Find your siesta. Wrap those arms around the front, drop your forehead, let your back round down into it. 3 nice long breaths here. Feel that tension melting away from your neck. We slowly start to roll up out of it. Let your knees fall out to the side and bring your hands down maybe to your feet or your ankles. And you can have these feet in as far as you'd like or as far out as you would like to come into a bound angle pose. Sit up nice and tall to start. That nice deep breath in. And then as you exhale, start to let yourself fold over those feet, keeping some length in the spine. A little more opening for those hips. your next exhale, let yourself round down into it. Roll up through that chin. Let's bring our hands to the outside of the knees, help them back up. We're going to lace our fingers this time behind our thighs and roll down, dropping your chin. Inhale, pull your body closer to your thighs, lift your gaze. Exhale, rounding down. Inhale, lifting that gaze. Let's begin to roll ourselves down, all the way down onto the mat. One vertebra at a time. Use your hands to make it a soft, easy transition. And then just roll onto your side. And then all the way over onto your belly. Let's bring your elbows directly underneath your shoulders. Your forearms are on the ground for Sphinx. Take your gaze straight ahead. See how your lower back is feeling here. A little bit of release for that lower back. Now walking your hands underneath those shoulders, press up. Bring your big toes together, knees out wide, to come into a wide child's pose. You can reach your hands all the way to the top of the mat, resting your forehead on the mat or a block. You can stack your fists underneath your forehead, or you can drape those arms alongside the body, forehead on the mat or a block. Let yourself release any remaining tension in the shoulders, sinking into your hips. And now bringing your hands directly under the shoulders, lift up. Going to come up onto the knees just a little bit here. Walk the hands forward and extend your right leg straight out behind you. And then slide that left leg out to the side, coming back into your Sphinx pose for the upper body and a half frog for that lower body. You can stay right here. You can come down onto your fists or all the way down onto the mat. And slowly begin to bring the hands under the shoulders once again. Knees wide, toes together, sitting back, finding that wide child's pose. Three breaths here. Bring your hands back under the shoulders, press away from the floor. Walk your hands forward, walk the left leg back, slide that right knee out to the side. Sphinx to start, half frog for that lower body. Get your hips as square as you can. Again, you can stay here. Maybe you want to lower the head down. Your choice. You can always use a block. Then we start to bring those hands back underneath the shoulders, lift up, big toes together. Straighten out the knees, come into a tabletop position, bringing our hands directly underneath the shoulders, fingers spread nice and wide. Find that length all the way along the spine. Then tuck the toes under, lift the hips high to come into a down dog. Pedal out those legs. Shift as much of your body weight to the middle of the hand as you can, right at the base of the fingers. Want a nice long line through the spine, through the arms. Let's come up on all 10 toes. And then slowly allow your heels to drift toward the mat. If a little more bend in the knees helps you flatten out the back, go for it. Lengthen out through the neck by sliding your shoulder blades toward your hips. Take your gaze toward the top of your mat. Slowly start to walk the feet forward. Big toes together. Little space at the heels. Generous bend in your knees. Let your belly rest on those thighs as we reach up for the opposite elbows and really let your head hang for ragdoll. You can move this around if it feels good. You can shake your head yes and no. And then we let our arms just fall to the floor, finding some length in the legs. Forward fold. Maybe you bring the hands behind you, pull your upper body closer. And we slowly just let those arms dangle and roll ourselves up one vertebra at a time. A little bit of that squeeze through the glutes, gently pressing the hips forward. Reach the hands all the way up. Lace your palms together. Flip those palms. Reach up toward the ceiling. Rise up on the toes. Biggest stretch you can manage here. Really get that full body stretch. Exhale, release the hands. Cactus the arms. A little bit of a mini back bend here. Inhale, reach those hands high. Exhale, coming down into your forward fold. Planting your hands, step back 1 foot at a time into plank pose. Drop down to your knees, lower all the way down. Find your control. Let's bend the left knee. Pushing through your left hand, flip over, keeping that foot flat. Lift up, nice big deep breath, reaching for your right foot. See if you can reach around your knee to hug it in close. Maybe you can reach the toes, maybe you're using your strap, maybe you're just reaching for your shins. Sink into it. Let's keep your feet really active here. Toes spread nice and wide. Take a look over your right shoulder toward the top of the mat. I'm just going to reach those hands. Flip back over. Elbows are under the shoulders. We're going to bend the right knee. Push with your right hand. Plant that foot. Take your deep breath. And reach forward toward that forward foot. Hugging your right knee in close. Nice and active through the foot. Again, maybe you're using your strap right here. And then taking a look over your left shoulder toward the top of your mat, reaching your hands toward the top of that mat, and coming back into a Sphinx pose. We're going to come down into reverse corpse. Placing the hands one on top of the other, forehead resting on the back of the palms. As we start to move into Shavasana, you can stay here, or maybe roll onto your side or onto your back, or restorative pose, any comfortable position that you would like to be in. Give yourself a moment to scan through your body, maybe noticing if you feel a little bit more relaxed, and giving yourself this opportunity to just soften through the scalp, through the forehead, around your eyes. Softening your face and your jaw. Letting the throat relax. Right down around the neck and the shoulders. Continue to release your muscles, release any tension or anxiety from the shoulders through the elbows, right down into your wrists and fingertips. Feeling your soft but strong breath, keeping you alive, keeping you moving forward, keeping you calm. And allow yourself to drop into your hips. Right down through each leg to the very bottoms of your feet. Let yourself stay in this Shavasana for as long as you have the time, as long as you need the time. And then when you feel ready, start to slowly make your way back up to a seated position. Letting that chin drop to the chest, feeling the stretch in the neck. Dropping your ear to one side and then over to the other side. Come back to that center. If your eyes are still closed, start to blink them open. Let's take one final big deep breath up together. Exhale, bringing those hands into heart center. May you have peace in your thoughts, kindness in your words, and hope and patience in your hearts, from my heart to yours. Namaste. I hope you found today's practice to be helpful in finding a little time for yourself, to nurture yourself. Sometimes we spend so much time taking care of everyone else, we forget about us, and we need this time too. If you enjoyed this practice, please be sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and let anybody else that you think could benefit from a few minutes of nurturing time for themselves know about this video so they can benefit as well. Please feel free to visit me at laylawellness.com for more wellness tips.